Hi there, my name's Phil, and for those of you that don't know me, I like to walk around with a camera and take pictures of whatever wildlife I can find. Not really sure how this is going to go. I've not done a vlog before, I've not done a YouTube wildlife video before, but I thought, you know what, when's the best time to start? Maybe right now. So I've got an entry-level camera with a kit lens on filming this. I've come to Salisbury Plain, which is around about an hour from where I live, or 45 minutes to an hour, depending on where you go. Such a huge place. I've come here. I've got camo gear on, taking it a little bit more seriously than I often do, because I find it a bit of a challenge. I never really find that I do too well at Salisbury Plain. I know the wildlife is here, but I probably need to up my game in terms of getting closer shots. So hopefully we'll get some good shots. I mean, ideally, I'd like to find some hen harrier, shorted owls. There's a chance of a barn owl. I've seen red kites here. Sparrowhawk, buzzards, roe deer, fallow deer, muntjac deer, and small chance of a red. They are around, but there's not too many of them. Many of them here. I have seen them before here. So yeah, I'm not going to do too much talking outside. Reason for filming inside the car is because I don't want my voice to carry outside. It's pretty remote here. It's pretty quiet, and however quiet I think I am talking to the camera, chances are my voice is going to carry across the hills and with the wind, so I don't really want to risk that happening. I can see some action happening right in front of me over there in the sky. Looks like a bird of prey is being mobbed by some crows, so I'm going to get out there and see what I can find. Catch you in a bit. Okay, so I'm aware how stupid I might look right now. I'm trying to keep my voice down. It's been a few hours since I last spoke. I've had an absolutely awesome evening. A barn owl, in fact it's back out now, has come out and has been hunting in front of me. It's got so close that I couldn't focus on it. It's actually flown over my head. I've got some fantastic shots which you might be able to see on the back of the camera, hopefully. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to pick this out, but it's also hunting at the moment. Out there. I guess it might be quite useful for me to talk you through the settings that I've used. So I'm on a Canon R6 with a Sigma 150 to 600mm contemporary lens, adapted because I can't actually afford any of the RF glass, certainly not any of the large RF glass. And I'm using that's working quite well. It does have its flaws, but I can get by with it. I tend to shoot the barn owls with some negative exposure compensation dialed in, depending on how bright the daylight is. So in really, really bright daylight, I might dial in maybe a stop and a quarter of negative compensation. And then as it starts to get darker still, I'll start to back that off a little bit. So my settings, well, I'm shooting wide open. It's a Sigma lens, it's a sort of a consumer level lens, so it's always wide open pretty much. It's f6.3. And in terms of my shutter speed, I generally start at 1,250th of a second, and then I will drop that down to 1/800th of a second, which I'm quite comfortable with. On occasion, 1/500th of a second, but generally speaking, most of my shots are between 1/800th and 1/250th of a second. In fact, if we have a look at the shot that I've just taken recently, you'll see that's 1/800th of a second at f6.3 with -2/3 exposure compensation dialed in. ISO is quite high at 10,000, but for the R6 it can easily handle that. And if I clean that image, I mean, it looks pretty good to me to use straight away anyway, but I can clean that image up in DxO Pure or if I wanted to Topaz or something, and it will come out fine. In fact, I do plan to use that, and then what I'll do is once it's done, I'll pop an image on screen for you to see. In fact, the barn owl's just out again, so I'm going to put this camera down and I'm going to take some more shots. One thing I did want to let you know about was I do get some questions from various people sometimes saying, you know, they'd love to take a picture of a barn owl or short it out. How do I find them, etc. Well, first of all, I'm no expert around and find my own. I like to try and find them in places where I won't be bothered by other photographers. I don't like the idea of being wildlife paparazzi in a queue of people shooting over a wall or a fence into a farmer's field. I have done that before, but it's not a very pleasant experience. I don't really feel like I'm at one with nature, so I tend to try and find them on my own. But basically what we're looking for, I'm going to try and show you now, is long, dusky grass. A bit unkept, unmowed, a bit like you see in front of me. The reason for that is that that grass will, it's basically the perfect habitat for field voles, mice, etc. to live in. They will hide themselves amongst the long grass and burrow in. So I generally look for open areas of land, like you're seeing now, where this is unmowed grass or scrubland, and I generally find that that's the area of the barn house, or at least for me, hunting. And I also find shorted owls there as well. Kestrels again tend to try and frequent this sort of habitat as well. And today I've also seen a Hen Harrier. I did manage to get a shot, but it's a record shot only. It's not close up. I'll put it up on screen now so you can see. Bit of a shame, really. It only showed itself very, very briefly, and I wasn't able to get any close-up shots. But nice to see nonetheless, and nice to know that they're here. And I'll have a think about how I'm going to adapt my photography to see if I can get some closer shots. And that's probably it from me, actually, this evening. I've lost the light, and it's about time I made my way home. But yeah, fantastic. I wasn't expecting to turn my hand to barn owl photography. I knew there was a chance that one could show the habitat Batch's barn owls. I have seen them here before. It's a shame I didn't get the Hen Harrier that I was really hoping to photograph, or the shorted owl, but you never know. Maybe next time. Barn owl, oh hey, come on, it's not a bad consolation prize, is it? Okay, so I'm back, and I'm back a week later. Simple reason is I didn't manage to film enough B-roll and background info for everyone. It's my first time doing this, so I'm a bit a bit naff, but learning as I go. Hopefully you'll have seen from the image on the screen that I had a fantastic time last time. Some lovely images of barn owl. Did have a sighting of a Hen Harrier. Managed to get some shots, but only record shots only. I'm here this time in the hope that a Harrier will show itself again. It was a male that I saw last time. And there's also a chance, of course, of the shorted owl and other birds of prey. So hopefully this time I'll also have, I don't know, as much success as last time, but I'm not sure, because I think last time was probably a bit of a one-off, really. Anyway, I'm just going to film the scene around the camera here, so you can see what I'm shooting into. You'll notice in the distance, just there is a truck, and looking down this path as well, I can see all these fence posts which have been put in. These weren't here last week, so I can't go into that field now. That tells me that cattle are going to be in this field shortly. Could even be today. If the cattle do arrive with the farmer or whoever's putting them in here, I'm going to pack up and go because there'll be too much commotion. But for now, there's no cattle, so I'll keep my eyes peeled and see what happens. Right, so I might just talk you through my settings. So I'm on manual mode, 1/1250th of a second. That's my optimum shot for birds of prey, or optimum shutter speed for birds of prey. That's the sort of go-to for the larger species that don't tend to have such a fast wing flap. Ideally, I'd like to get my owls at that, but I will drop it as the light fades. F6.3 wide open. That's because that's as much light as this Sigma 150 to 600mm contemporary lens will let in. Auto ISO. I know that's a no-no amongst a lot of people, but when you're panning around on animals or wildlife, 1 minute they're in the light, the next minute they're in the shadows. You've then got to manage cloud cover sometimes that comes over while you're in the middle of that. I'm just not clever enough or capable enough to adjust my ISO on the fly. So if I end up having to shoot birds in the sky and I need to overexpose, I would just press the set button, and the shutter speed button on the camera, and that will, in combination, allow me to dial in exposure compensation, positive or negative, depending on what I'm shooting. For example, if a bright white barn owl comes into the shot, then I'll be dialing in negative exposure quite quickly. But that allows me to adjust my settings on the fly. Excuse that sun, it's so bright. Well, I've been here about an hour now, pretty quiet. I've seen a kestrel in the distance and a buzzard briefly, that's about it. So, as I said before, talking out here is not a good idea. I kind of had to break my own rule really this second time around, because otherwise I'd have no content for you, much like last time. But for now, I'm going to shut up for a bit and hope something turns up. Catch you later. Okay, so I think I might have just seen a hen harrier briefly, but it was right in the distance. I couldn't see it for more than a few seconds. Certainly can't see it now. I just have to hope that if it was a hen harrier, that it comes back, preferably a bit more closer as well. Hen harrier, hen harrier, hen harrier. There it is. Oh, it's gone behind the trees. It came out of nowhere. I was not ready for it at all. A quick loop around the field and it's off behind the trees. Did I get some shots? Yes. Not close up, but enough to see that I got a hen harrier. Let me just get one up on screen. I don't know if you can see that, but that is what we put out. Hen harrier. It came in from behind me, right next to me, 100 miles an hour, quite low to the ground. I had pretty much no chance to get to the camera, and I wasn't really ready, if I'm honest. It's my fault really. And then I struggled to get focus even on single point, separating the bird from the long grass. But never mind. Let's have another look. Really cropped in, really far out. Lovely backlit shot though. But I don't think it's going to work for Instagram, but never mind. I just wasn't ready when the hen harrier appeared. Right behind me, quite close by. It flew into the field, about 100 miles an hour it seemed. Quite low to the ground, quick circle, and then off onto the field, over the trees. I managed some shots, which are 0 record shots only. I'll put a shot on screen now so you can see it, but really a bit disappointed with myself. I kind of did struggle actually to focus on it with this lens, even though on single point focus, because it's quite low to the ground. So I was finding the camera was picking up the grass instead of the actual bird itself, but nice to see. We've got probably about half an hour of light left. You never know, might come back. Also, still chance for now. So I'll sit tight and see what happens. Okay, thanks for watching. I've come to the end of the day. It's time for me to go home. Unfortunately, I haven't had the shots that I was hoping for on day 2, and certainly not to the success of day 1. But nevertheless, that's just how it goes. It's wildlife photography after all, and I guess if it was easy, we wouldn't be motivated to do it and wouldn't have the satisfaction of getting the rewards when it goes well. If you've enjoyed watching this or found it entertaining, heaven forbid, even learned something, then please do give me a thumbs up. I'm new here, I'm new to YouTube. I'm hugely self-conscious about being on camera. I'm not comfortable with it at all, but I'm doing my best. I could do with all the encouragement that I could get, so please do give me a thumbs up. Or if you didn't like it, then yeah, give me a thumbs down. I don't mind either way, but just maybe some feedback would be appreciated. I'm looking around, that's a pheasant, damn it. Just in case the barn owl shows at this late hour, though, it's too dark for me to get any pictures. No, nothing so far. Well, guys, that's it from me. Thanks very much for watching. I will hopefully see you in the next one. Thanks a lot. Cheers, bye.